I believe we are being sold a lie that we need to deteriorate over time. Anti-aging is in our face every day. People are afraid and ashamed of not being young. While aging is inescapable, I believe we can improve as we age. Join me, Belle Carter, as I go on a journey of self-optimization in all areas of life: mental, physical, emotional, financial, and spiritual. Let's get hacked as. Hello, hackers. Hello. Today's topic is a little bit different than what we have so far, but I think it's going to be a real hit. The checklist that you need to tick off before you let him in your bed. Now, this is going to mean different things to different people because some people are quite open with who they let into their bed, and it's more about who they choose rather than having to fend off people or anything like that. But just today I was talking to my very good friend, and we always do boy talk, and she was talking to this guy, and she thought that, maybe this guy could, he could mean something, because we're getting to this point where we cannot be bothered with F-boys, with fuck boys. We cannot be bothered with them. I don't know who could ever be bothered with them. But there comes a time in your life when you're just like, I don't want to mess around anymore. Like, I've had it. I actually want something that means something to someone. And this seems like it's a little bit hard to come by these days. It seems like because of the society that we are part of, which just shows that sex is for everyone, anytime, and if you're not having sex, there's something wrong with you. And the hookup culture is so big, and people have sex first and then get to know people later, and it's all kind of messed up. So she was talking to me, and she was telling me about this guy, and as time goes on, and then today she sent me a bit of an update, and turned out the bloke's just been treating her like a booty call. And the thing is, it's really hard because, have you heard this quote? That, I don't know if this is actually a quote or just something my mom always told me growing up, was that girls pretend they want sex because they want love. And guys pretend they want love because they want sex. So girls are giving it up because they just want to be loved, even for a moment, to feel that love and affection. So my friend was saying to me, like, I just don't understand why he treated me like that when we were together. Like, he was so sweet and loving, and we got along so well, and we talked so much, and he was so beautiful, and now he's just being like, she doesn't hear a thing from him unless he wants to hang out. And as a vulnerable woman, it's easy sometimes to allow someone into our space, even though some part of us might know that this is not what we want, but you just want that moment of just feeling adored. Like, there's not much you won't do for that. I can say that for myself anyway. There's not much you won't do for it. But the thing is, you're worth so much more than just a bloody hookup. You are worth being adored. You're worth being taken out and treated right and shown off and cherished, and having a person slow down and want to get to know you rather than just trying to call you up and hook up with you and sweet talk you a while just because they want that one thing. I remember telling my boss, and she's like, Belle, how's it going with this guy? And I'm like, well, he's nice. This was ages ago. And then she's like, what? They're all nice, Belle. And I was like, holy crap, that is true. Everyone can be nice when they want something. Everyone can be. But you know who doesn't? What happens when you make people wait? The ones who are actually nice, they'll stay. But the ones who aren't actually nice, they'll disappear. Recently I had a bit of a bad encounter. I was like a second date with this guy, and he was dropping me home, And he's like, I can come in. Like, you know, if you want, like, I can come in. And every part of my being screamed, no. Like, I didn't want him to come in. Like, what the hell? I can come in, you know, and, like, we can watch a movie in your room or something. I'm just like, what the fuck? The whole night had been going good until this moment. And every part, like, okay, I said scream, but it didn't scream. It was just like I knew in the pit of my stomach, no. It was like resounding, no, no, no. And I didn't even voice that. I just got out of the car and I was like, yeah, like whatever. And then I got into a situation that I did not want to be in, not at all. And when the person finally realized he was not going to get from me what he wanted, he's like, all right, well, I'm going to go. Oh, because he just wanted this one thing. I'm just not that kind of person. That's not really my style, to just go hook up with people. Like, it just, to me, okay, I'm not judging you if you do it, but to me, it just feels horrible. It just feels cheap, and most of the time it's not a good time because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Oh, I'm so sorry I'm swearing so much. They don't know what they're doing generally because they don't know you. They don't actually care about you. If you died tomorrow, they wouldn't be at your funeral, but you're letting them see the most intimate parts of you. Like, that just doesn't sit well with me. No, it doesn't sit well with me. I've made my fair share of mistakes. Fortunately, not very many, but I have. And so, the reason I've actually gone ahead and made this checklist is because my friend and so many more of my friends, ones who have said this to me and ones who haven't said it to me, but I know have been in a situation, they just want to be loved. That's all they want. But the guy, he just wants to hook up. And if you're, like, I'm sorry to be saying male, female here, but I'm just going off what's most common. If you're a girl and you really want to be loved, like, let me just tell you right now that you are loved. You are so loved. You might not feel it right now, but let me tell you what feels a lot better is to have not... Oh, no. Let me tell you what feels a lot worse than not feeling like you're being loved, that you are loved right now. What feels worse is giving somebody everything because you think that they will love you and you think that they will appreciate it, when really they're just gonna ghost you and you'll never hear from them again, and then tomorrow night they'll be in someone else's bed. That is such an empty, it's like a heart aching feeling. It's just horrible. Nothing compares to being with a person who truly loves you and cherishes you and cares about you. So when you're in this situation where you're feeling like you might like to hook up with someone, let me give you a checklist, okay? Because not everyone deserves your body. No, not everyone deserves your body. You are way too valuable, and you are not providing a service here. You are not. And let's be honest, women, ladies, it is generally not a good time, so there's just no point. Often it just ends up being more disappointing than anything else. So, soz guys, but that's just the reality of it. If you go, I could say if you asked women, but they probably wouldn't tell you because we just don't want to hurt your egos, really, at the end of the day, because we know what that does. So as a protection mechanism, we wouldn't really tell you if you sucked. And so I hope that helps you sleep at night. Sorry, I've made this checklist, and you can go to www.hackedasradio.com/checklist and get the checklist sent to your email. So this checklist is just something you need to remind yourself before going ahead Because you see, when you actually have sex and when you allow someone into that space, it's supposed to be a sacred thing between two people. There is an energy exchange when you do this. There is a soul exchange. And not to mention, when you meet the one, when you meet your person that you want to give everything to, you're going to remember all the ones that you gave it to that didn't give a F about you. They're nowhere in your life now. They're dirtbags. You wouldn't even want to look at them. Some of them might be nice people, but you just feel like, oh, trust me, you will not feel great when you meet the person you want to give everything and realize that it's not as special because you gave it to people who you couldn't care less for. Can you just let that sink in? Because there's going to come a time when you're going to meet someone who is so special to you and you want them to have everything. You've already given that everything to Tom, Dick and Harry. Doesn't mean so much now, does it? Now, this isn't going against the norm because we are living in a sexually liberated time where people should feel like they should be able to have sex with whoever they want and just enjoy themselves. And I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. But if you are a person who wants to be loved and is tired of messing around, sleeping around, then here is your checklist to make sure that you do not fall into that vulnerability that allows you to settle for less. We're living in a time where, girls, we are just settling for less. Absolutely we are. Guys are not putting hardly any effort in these days. Like, I'm not talking about all guys, okay? And I'm not talking about all girls, so please don't get upset at me generalizing. But just, we are. Like, I remember a girl telling me, like, oh, yeah, he has a car and blah, 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 blah. And this person was 26. And I'm like, what do you mean he has a car? This is a plus? He's 26. That isn't a bonus. That should be a standard. We have dropped standards so much, girls. We have dropped our standards so low. So why do you think the guys are having less respect? And they're not even putting in any effort because they don't have to. Why would you bother if you didn't have to? I'm not talking about all guys. I have 6 brothers. Don't get me wrong, they're great people. From what I've seen, they treat girls well and with respect. So I'm not saying all guys. But I just want you to know you are worth so much more. God, if you knew how much you were worth, you wouldn't be just giving it up for anyone. And if it's really that hard, then bloody hell, go and get yourself some toy. Or take care of it yourself. Rather than go and give it up to someone who's not going to appreciate it. Can you think about whether or not they're going to appreciate it? If you don't think these people are going to appreciate it, then don't give it to them. If they're just going to be like, whatever, and then see you later, and then you never hear from them again, why the hell would you give them the most precious, intimate part of you? Why would you do that? Why are we so okay with giving someone our body, but so scared of giving someone our honesty or giving someone our heart? Why would we give our body up first? That is so twisted to me. Anyway, if you want the checklist, obviously you couldn't carry it around with you, but at least you'll know. It'll be something in your mind. If you want the checklist, before anybody is getting a piece of you, you are going to tick off these things because you are worth so much more. You are worth so much more, my God. I love you. You are worth more than you can possibly imagine. And if you want that checklist, go to www.hackedasradio.com/checklist. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I hope you've learned a hack or two today. If you like what you're hearing, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, rate, comment, share, depending on where you're listening. If you have any questions for me or any of the guests you hear on the show, send them to hackedasradio.com for a chance to be featured. Remember, your best days don't need to be behind you.